Hi guys, welcome back to Karamia's Corner. Join me today for my mini craft series, Shop Your Stash and Let's Craft. If you missed last week's video, I'll put the link right above if you'd like to see it. First off, wanted to say a big thank you and shout out to Terry of Terry's Place and Felicia of FP Handmade. I'll put the links down below. Thank you ladies for joining my little crafty challenge. This month's theme is friendship, and today's prompt is to say it with flowers. So every Saturday of this month, I will be posting a new prompt, and we'll have a fun, crafty scavenger hunt where I'll be listing 5 primary items or materials that we'll be using for our project. Now, speaking of the project, today we're making a shadow box frame, and these are the items we'll be looking for. So we need 4 12 by 12 sheets. 2 of them should be identical, 1 8.5 by 11 plain paper. Floral embellishments, they can be paper flowers, stickers, trim, charms, character stamps like animals, people, butterflies. We're also going to be adding a few elements to the challenge, and those are to create some dimension, include a surprise message, add a charm, a sentiment, and some floral embellishments. So let the scavenge hunt begin. Alright guys, today I'm going to be using my Amy Tangerine paper pad here that I have been holding on to for a while. I picked out 2 of these floral sheets for my identical sheets for this project. Since we are saying it with flowers, let me just quickly show you what our shadow box frame will look like. So here's a previous project I made last year for the Julie Nutting Challenge. And so we're going to make a 5 by 8 size frame. So now that we have these 2 sheets, I'm going to be also needing background paper. So I have a couple of these that I'm going to be picking from. So we'll see which one I go with later. And I also picked this beautiful pattern here for my surprise message card. And I have these cut aparts where I can cut out maybe a sentiment. And for extras, decided to pull out this sheet as well to add as something for my message card. So now that we have the paper out of the way, I have also pulled out some of my colored markers. So I have a few that I can choose from that I can use to color my stamp. And the stamp I'm going to be using today is this adorable gorgeous girl stamp, and it's so cute. She's sitting on a log with a little cute bird next to her. So I'll be using that. I've also pulled out some of my paper flower embellishments, some stickers. So I have quite a few here to choose from, and I think this is a perfect way to use your stash. So we have several flowers. I've also pulled out a floral trim that I'll be using, and I have also pulled some mini little charms here, floral charms, and a clear cardstock to stamp my image on. Now you're going to also need some of these foam dot stickers, and I'll show you how to use that later on. If you have that, that would be great. We'll also need some scoring tape or double-side tape. You can also use tacky glue if you'd like. Now let's start off by scoring our base sheet for our frame. So I'm going to flip it over so we can see the white side. The size of the frame is 8 by 6 actually. It's 8 by 6. And so we're going to score at the 10-inch line first here at the top. So we'll go score at the 10-inch line. And on the right side, we are scoring at the 2-inch margin. I am scoring at a very awkward position here because the tripod's blocking my way. So hopefully I can do this on camera. So I'm going to flip it over, and now we're doing the 6-inch side. So we are going to score in at the 9-inch margin. So 9-inch right there. We're going to score 3 inches in. So 9" and on the right side score at the 3" line. Now if you don't have a scoring tool, you can definitely use a ruler and pencil to mark those lines so that you know where to create those creases and folds later on. The next part is to score out 1/2" 4 times, so we are at the 9" line here, going out at 9.5, and so on. So let me just reposition it. I went ahead and scored this off camera, but I'm just going to show you that we're doing and repeating the 1/2" scoring out. So now we're doing on the left side from the 3" line, going out at 1/2" at a time. So I'm going to flip it over, and now we are here at our 10" margin, and we are going to score out 1/2" at a time, and this time only 3 times. So 10.5, and so on. We're going to repeat the same step on our right side here. And now we are going to proceed to cut. So now I've marked the areas where we need to trim and cut. So on the longer side of our sheet, you see that we have 1" of paper, of excess paper. We are just going to cut that out on both the right and left side. I'm going to show you step by step on how to do that. We are going to flip it over and repeat the same step on this side. And everything will begin to make sense once we have cut all these excess paper out. Now the next step, I've marked our areas here. So we have our 6" line or part here. We are going to cut to the 3rd row. You're going to cut through the paper. So 3rd row. And on our 8 or longer side of our paper, we cut to the 4th row. So you use your folds as your guides. And then there is this little square, and it's about 1/2" also in size, and we are creating a flap, and I'll show you why we need that. We're going to be tucking that in when we fold these pieces of paper. Again, we're repeating the steps and cutting down to our 4th row here on the longer side, and then creating that 1/2" flap. Now that we have our 2 flaps, the next step is to cut it at a diagonal angle, almost like cutting a triangle, and just trimming it a little bit so it'll be easier to tuck that later on when we roll these pieces in our frame. So I'm just going to cut that. And then we're going to proceed and flip this card over and repeat the same steps. Now I'd love to see your work. If you are interested in joining this challenge, I would love, you're more than welcome to create a video response. You can also email me a picture of your project if you don't have a YouTube, and or tag me on Instagram if you'd like. So I'll have the details down below in the description box. Make sure to check out the other ladies' projects. Terry and Felicia made some beautiful mini booklets, and that was our project last week. Super fun and easy to make, and great to send off to your pen pals or family too, for like little gifts in the mail. So now we're cutting again the little flaps at an angle, just to trim it down and get it ready for our folding. So now that we have all those 4 flaps ready, we are going to flip it over to our longer side of our paper. And I have marked it. So I just want to show you how to do it. You are going to go to the second row and measure in about 1/2 inch on the top and bottom of that second row of our scoring tool there, and then just let these points meet like that, and then repeat the same step on the other side. And so you cut those out on both sides of our paper. So now that that's done, we're going to use our scoring tool to just make sure our folds and creases are really good and varnish them. By doing that, it makes it easier for us to fold in all the corners of our frame, and I'll be showing you on how to do that. So real quickly, let me just show you how it rolls forward really nicely and neatly over there. I'm going to repeat these steps on all 3 sides and come back. And now that that's ready, our next step is to cut a 6x8 sheet that we will be using for a background. I went ahead with this yellow polka dot pattern paper. The honeycomb one was a little bit too busy, and I want to make sure my stamp image stands out in our frame. I've applied some double side tape on all 4 sides, and we are going to start on our long side of our frame, and we'll roll it over and make sure that that side with the adhesive sticks down to our base. So I'm just pressing down at our sides here. I'm gonna flip it over and do the same on our other long side of our frame here. Push that down, make sure it's secure. Again, you're welcome to use tacky glue. Any other glue like Fabri-Tac will be perfect, but I prefer the scoring tape and the double side tape. Now we are at our 6-inch side. Remember those flaps? So push them in. You can apply a little bit, a dab of glue on that, so it'll stick into the corners of our long side. We're going to roll it in, and we're going to fiddle just a little bit so we can tuck it in. I'm going to tuck this one. I'm going to go on the right first and show you how that looks. So that's what it looks like. I'm going to repeat the same step here on our left side. Just going to adjust it and make sure it's even. Now we're going to flip it over and repeat the same step on this side. Again, the flaps, push it in, apply a dab of glue, and then we're going to roll this forward and tuck it into the corners. Now you can also apply a little bit of a dab of glue on those corners so that way it is more secure. So put some glue on that side if you'd like. So we've completed our first step of creating our box or frame for our shadow box frame. And now we are going to decide which orientation do we want our stamp or image to be. I'm going to pick the horizontal one because our cute little stamp is sitting long ways, so I'm going to do that. And on the back side, we want to create little secret pocket, so that's why we needed that identical sheet. Now you can choose to do that, and I'm going to insert my little message in there. Now before I glue that on our box, I just want to use my circle punch to create a little notch here as for my pocket. So I'm going to do that, and we are going to apply some glue on our sheet here and attach this to the back of our frame. So once we have that done, we are going to work on the next step, which is the fun part. We're going to do some stamping and coloring. I'm just going to let this sit aside and let it set, let the glue dry up. I'm going to put that aside. Now I went ahead and stamped my image on the paper. So let me just pull that and show you what it looks like. So we are going to create two of these. I'm going to cut out two of these, and the reason for that is we're going to create layers and create some dimension on our image. So now on to coloring, and just a disclaimer, coloring is not my strongest suit, so bear with me. I'm just going to speed up this process as I color in our stamp. I also need to invest in a little stamping platform. The Fiskar one that I use isn't really good. So if you know of a good one, comment below and let me know which one do you use and enjoy for your stamps. So some of these colored markers don't have any markings of which tip is on what side. So sometimes I end up guessing and opening both sides before I find the right nib. Now here we are coloring the dress in pink. And now I'm going to color the boots in blue. My battery died, but here it is. I have colored our boots and put some details on the heart. So let me continue finishing this off, and let's play some music and do some coloring. Now that we have our stamped pieces and cutouts all colored, done, coloring is done, now we have to put them on our frame, and I've applied some foam glue dots on the back. So I'm just going to go ahead and take out the backing, and I'm going to just center this and lay that down. We're using two pieces to kind of create almost like a 3D shadowing effect. And so the two mirroring images helps create that. So I'm just going to make sure that that's aligned with our base piece. And you can see there's a little bit of shadow, and then you see a little bit of that 3D dimensional effect. Now it's time to embellish our frame, and we are going to use some of these floral embellishments. And I love pinks and blues, and we're going also with the colors that are on the stamp. So I think I'm going to stick with that. Still trying to decide where to put this sentiment. But I'm going to go ahead and decorate our frame with these flowers. So it's really fun. These type of little projects help me go through my crafty stash and create projects that I can mail off to my snail mail friends and also to family. So I'm really having fun with this mini series. So put some glue over there. Once again, my battery died, and here we are. I've completed decorating and embellishing my frame. I've added the sentiment thinking of you at the top and some flower trim on the side here. Now we have a few more things we need to add. You can definitely use twine or ribbon to apply to your box frame so you can hang it. But I'm just going to follow and make a paper little piece here that will act as the piece to hang it. So I have the same pattern paper that I used for the frame, and I had some excess paper from that. I've folded this in half, and I'm just going to glue those two sides together. And I'm going to get my scissors. I'm going to just attach this, and with my scissors, just going to cut this side and use that piece on the other side so it's even. And I'm going to get my little punch here to create that little notch, circle punch right there. And now I'm going to just attach this to our frame. So again, just applied some double side tape on that. I'm going to make it face me so I can make sure it's centered. And I think right about here will be great. So now that we have that done, we have a few more things we need to add. And you see this pocket here, we have this floral trim. And this is actually our pole for a surprise message. And what I've done is I've cut a 5x8 sheet with that other scrapbook paper. So that's what the back side looks like. And then I have this cut apart. I'll put a picture there. We have our sentiment and write a message. So now let's take a look at our completed shadow box frame. Some of the elements that we needed to add was to create some dimension, and we've applied that with our stamp image here. By using 2 layers, I've added a little floral charm on that cute tag, and then we have embellished it with flowers. I've also added the sentiment, thinking of you. We have that surprise pocket with the surprise message. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoy doing a little paper crafting here with me today. Join me again next Saturday for another segment of my little mini crafting series, Shop Your Stash and Let's Craft. Wishing you all a wonderful weekend. Make sure to comment down below. Love to hear from you and love to see your projects as well. Thanks again for watching Karamia's Corner. See you next time. Bye.